Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. We'll be getting going here pretty soon. It looks like we got a server restart going on here, but we are getting ready to rock and roll for another round of Odyssey Racing League's Division 1 series. This is Season 7 for us here. We are going to be doing Season 7 Division 1. This is Round 2, Circuit of the Americas. We're going to be in a night race tonight. I hope you all are having a good week so far, as mine has been kind of hectic, but that is life, right? So as we get going, let's go through a few things while we're waiting for the server to reload here. What did everybody think of last week's race against Valencia? In Valencia, excuse me. Pretty tough race for some drivers. Poor Richard, I think, had a couple, three drive-through penalties for track cuts. This track's probably not the best one for track cuts either. Yeah, well, you're definitely going to see that tonight, most likely. It's just a matter of who's going to get popped for a drive-through versus who is not going to get popped for a drive-through. So, as you see, the winner from last night, Chris Rise, is in here in the chat room. Everybody say hello to the winner from last night. Congratulations again, Chris. Alright, let's turn this up here a little bit so you can actually hear the race cars and all that good jazz. Alright, so, wow, I got a pretty high ping. That's nice. There we go. So we have that going. Boy, that is kind of loud still, isn't it? Let me turn the volume down just a tad bit, so it's not as quiet, as loud. So as we are rocking and rolling here, let's go ahead and go through some items here. Let's see. And transition. So we are actually at the Circuit of the Americas. This is in Austin, Texas. This track is a 3.426 mile track. Opened in October of 2012. It's a 20-turn Tilke Drome, hosts NASCAR F1 World Endurance Championships. And as you can see, Chris Rice put in the chat channel that the fastest GT3 lap record at this track so far was set this year in January, or this year, by Jan Halen in his Porsche 992 of a 2:05.329. Again, this is going to be a night race, so we're looking at a pretty cold track, and it's going to be definitely unique because obviously it's night, so you're not going to be able to see your corners all that great. So as you're seeing on the screen here, they're going to turn one. Turn one's a pretty sharp hairpin. Then through the S's, this is where a lot of people are going to get caught out at because of track limits. You got to do a lot of coasting, which you just don't really want to do because you feel like you could take the corners fast enough. Down to turn 11, the hairpin there, all through that very long back straight to turn 15, which is another hairpin to another tight technical section, through turns 16, 17, 18, 19, and then you finally get to turn 20, the final turn of the actual track itself. It's going to be rather interesting, to say the least, of what's going to actually happen on track. And so let's go to the track itself and see what's going on here. So as we follow along here with who are we at? Old McDonald, I think. That is not the TV cameras that I'm asking for. I want the TV cameras. There we go. So again, this is just going to be the practice going on right now. So as we can see the times that are on the track, no one's actually put a fast lap in. I wonder how many people actually have had a track warning, or not track warning since it's practice, but they, what's the word I want to say? Invalidation. There we go. That's the word I want to say. Now, this could be a fun track to drive on. It's just not my favorite. But out of the American tracks, it's not my least favorite either, which that is unfortunately held by the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is a hunk of garbage. All right. There we go. So it looks like Paul Mariage is sitting with the fastest lap at the moment, with 3 minutes and 34 seconds his last lap. He just was the first one across the line. That's the reason why it's there. We're sitting on a 13-degree track and ambient temperature, so currently the time of day is 10 p.m., so 10:05 on the race itself. In real life, we're sitting at 8:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I guess there's that. Come on, guys. Let's see if someone can actually get a lap in here. So, anybody that's in here, I don't know who's all in the chat room right now, who's actually watching, who's not watching. But I just want to kind of see if anybody can hear me and how the volume sounds on your end, if I'm clipping at all or not. Because if I am, I can try to fix that for us here. I did get a new microphone this season, so there's that. Let's go up to here to old Paul Mariage here in his Red Bull Porsche. There are some great camera angles here on this track, especially at night. I actually didn't even know if I was actually going to be able to do it tonight or not, because unfortunately, we had some really crappy weather and some idiot hit a light pole here. So it took our power and internet down today, but we did get it back a couple hours ago. So there's that. But maybe Richard will join me tonight. I'm not quite sure if he is or not. If he does, that'd be great. That way, I will be able to possibly do a picture-in-picture with you guys. Now, I feel like an idiot, but I'm not quite sure who Reaper is. I know who he is, but I'm not quite sure who he is. So I think what I'm going to actually try to do now before these, so now that I race on the Wednesday night series back into a class that I'm not getting lap by lap 10, try to make those videos more that I put at the beginning here that actually had a the track map and the information on it. I think those are kind of nice, and I'll just send it to whoever's doing the Wednesday night race. Alright, so Paul jumped in the pits. Jump on to Cooper Samuelson here in his Ferrari, as he's heading into turn 1. You know what? Let's actually go inside the car here. Let's go to cockpit. I'm trying to find somebody that's not past the start-finish line yet, which is car number 11, which is Daniel Lopez. So what I'll do is when he gets close to the start-finish line, I'll jump onto him real quick, because barring him going into the pits. See, this part of the section of the track is really bothersome to me because I struggle with it immensely. I feel like I can take the corners a lot faster than that, and then you end up washing wide. So we're going to jump on Daniel Lopez here in a couple seconds. He's getting ready to go around. He's going through turn 18 here now. And once he gets through, I'm going to jump onto him so we can see what it's actually a full lap is like here for those who don't know the track itself. That's right, Mr. Anderson. Sorry about that. So as Daniel Lopez in his B Racing Audi rounds turn 20, he's crossing the start-finish line onto the front stretch of the track, heading up the hill into turn 1. You want to probably brake around the 100-foot mark, braking hard down into first gear for this tight hairpin. I struggled last night getting out of this corner for some reason. The car kept bogging down. But as you're going through, you're going to be full throttle, pinned all the way through to here. So that's turn 1, 2, and 3. You kind of let off here, brake, dab of the brake. Try to hug this line here, but this is a weird corner. It's kind of a sweeping corner. You think you can carry a lot more speed in it, but you can't. And this is a corner here that you can actually take 2 separate angles in. If you don't have anybody follow, you can take a little bit wider and shorten the angle. But that does require you setting up the corner prior to that. So now you go to, there's a little short stretch here to hairpin number 2. You want to brake around the 100-foot mark again. Down into first gear, hard onto the throttle, into the long back stretch. So, meanwhile, while we're sitting here in this long back stretch here, you can have yourself a cup of tea, eat some biscuits, talk to your friends, smoke a cigarette, do whatever you need to do because it's pretty darn long. But you want to brake about just past the 150 mark, down to first gear again into hairpin number 3. Go wide out here, brake about that white line, do a lot of trail braking, try to keep the car in. This is another one of those weird corners where you really want to put the throttle down, but you got so much steering angle. Brake right around the start of this turn, take it nice and wide for another little hairpin. But you want to take that other corner prior to that a little bit faster. You want to. You feel like you want to. But you don't because you end up washing wide or you got so much steering angle in, even with traction control, the car will break loose. So as he's turning through turn 18 now to turn 19, nice exit there. I don't know if that's going to be invalidated or not. Brake into turn 20 and back onto the front stretch. That is a lap around the Circuit of Americas. Alright, so according to practice here, as the practice has ended, we're just waiting for everybody else to finish up on the track here. I'll just jump on Dean Solomon for the time being. It looks like we have Luke Locklear in P1 at the end of practice here. Again, this is a 13-degree track and ambient temperature. So currently, by the numbers, Luke Locklear isn't too far off of the numbers for the fastest lap time here. So as we see the cars heading out onto the track now. Let's see, let me get to the right cars here. Who's that? 27, car number 27, which is Polka. And his Mercedes, this Odyssey Racing League Mercedes, I believe that is. That is correct. Good looking car right there. I see a lot of guys have actually kind of went to the Odyssey Racing League setups here, repping the brand. It's a good league that is part of. These guys are good dudes. People are very friendly, open, willing to work with you. Get a lot of different series. We got the Monday Night Academy, which is it's supposed to be really for training and learning and getting coaching and whatnot, but it's a lot of a practice session. I gaggle at guys. If you're a lady to say you can't join, you can. Just basically testing limits, getting practice in on the track conditions that the race is actually going to be in. Eric does do a good job, so of helping. A lot of the other people help too. Tyler, Capo de Capi, our fearless leader, besides Forza Abdul. I just realized his car name is Garage 56. Trying to do the old NASCAR thing, but yeah, there is some helping there. So you know, it's for everybody, all skill levels. So those who are new to the sim racing or just trying to get into it, we all have to start somewhere. So feel free to join the academy. On Wednesday nights, we run the West Series, also with our Division 2 Gold and Silver Series, and then Thursday night we are running our Division 1. And our EU race for our EU folks is on Sunday mornings. So there's a group of cars and races for everybody that wants to race with us. Let's go here. Oh boy. So there's Polka going past turn 1 now for the first lap of his qualifying session here. Boy, I just don't have any energy tonight. I kind of feel like I want to get ourselves one of our sponsored drinks, our Rogue Energy. Give me some little bit of energy. I just didn't sleep well last night, and that Rogue Energy sounds pretty good right now. No sugars, no fillers, 5 calories only. So with all those essential vitamins and nootropics that, you know, keep your brain at optimal levels. So do gotta say, give it a shot, guys. Go ahead and use the code Odyssey Racing for 10% off at the checkout. So yeah, I see that, Chris. They got a lot of cars there. If I already didn't sit too much time on this computer playing video games, so I got Tuesday night and then Wednesday night and Thursday night, I'd probably do it, but I'm married and have a child, and yeah, it's best that I don't. So currently on pole right now, even though, you know, they haven't got a fast lap in, is technically Paul Marriage, but we're going to see what's going to happen here. Look at that. Porsche. Phil Krathios went back to his BMW. Now I got hiccups. Back to the BMW. Steve Sloan is repping his McLaren. He's been driving the McLaren forever. Now he went to the Evo 720 Evo. A couple Ferraris with Samuelson and Vargas, and Eric Alvarez are one of our esports drivers. Solomon Lopez and Smith in the Audis. We do have an Aston Martin and a Mercedes, which obviously you can see Polka and his Mercedes driving on the track as we speak. I didn't actually see the lineup of drivers in the EU Series, Chris, so I'm not quite sure to see if it's actually quite a bit of drivers that are actually European. So currently sitting on pole right now is Paul Marriage. So he does actually have the fastest lap so far. We got a couple drivers sitting in the green. We're going to jump on to Dean Solomon here, give him the commentator's curse. He's actually 1.3 seconds up in the green on his lap time. We are 9 minutes and 40 seconds to go in qualification. Eric Alvarez was up big. Now his number dropped massively. So as Dean is heading through turn 20 here to the front stretch, let's see where he's going to be lap time wise. Probably 208 something. What is it? 207.6. So not bad. So that's going to be for P3. We're going to go back up to Paul here. Paul is going through turn 11, excuse me. So he's actually half a second up purple on his pole lap. So he's moving along pretty good now. We have a yellow flag on the track. Bonus, take a dip. Not sure, but Paul Marriage still in the P1 riding the pole. I probably shouldn't have said it like that, but yes, he's on pole. We got another car here. Lopez is this can't be right. It says he's 3.3 seconds up on his lap time, but he ran a 206.6 the last lap, which obviously was an invalidation of some sort. So going through turn 18. Oh, Polka Dot made it to pole. Well, McDonald's now on pole. We got it's just boom, boom, boom. But it's happening, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, it's happening. Track's coming due. It is a 14-degree track. Nice and cool. Power-making weather here. So Paul Marriage stays in fourth. we're going to jump to Luke Locklear and his Odyssey Racing League Porsche, running his 4-ways on for some reason. The good news is that now Luke and I do not have to fight over the 13 number here. Eric Alvarez jumped up there to P2. Look at that. And Luke Locklear is now on pole himself. There we go. 205, 212. So technically, he's going to have the lap record if this was in real life, which of course it's not, obviously. But still, pretty dang good lap for him. So, man, these guys are moving. So I think the pole lap yesterday was a 2... Chris, what did you get for pole yesterday? Because you were sitting on pole. Were you 206 something? Chris Rice had an amazing race yesterday. For those who did not see the race, he had a total brain fart at the beginning of the race and got a drive-through off the start. So, unfortunately for him, he had a drive-through penalty. He fought his way back through the field. Still had to serve his pit stop that he had to do that is mandatory during the race, which is 1 liter of fuel only. And still managed to win the race. So, pretty dang good race for him. I had a couple spins myself and just absolutely wrecked my tires by like 15 minutes into the race, so I decided to box then, change the tires, fix the damage that I got from being hit, and it was like driving a new car almost. Tires fell off there towards the end of the race, big time, but these new tire models that they have put together has actually done a pretty darn good job well, done a really good job actually of putting some tire deg into the cars itself. So winding it down with a little over, right at about 5.5 minutes of qualifying to go. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. It's really quite weird seeing Cryo struggling like he is. He's not usually much of a struggler. All right, so as we go now, Luke Locklear with a 205.060, followed by Daniel Lopez and Paul Mariage. Eric Alvarez up there in P4, followed by Moss, McDonald, Polka, Samuelson, Solomon, Cryo, Sloan, Smith, Charles, and Adrian Vargas. Go a little bit wide there, Paul. We're going to jump on Eric Alvarez here. He's up 2/10 on his lap, 3/10 now on his lap. I apparently do not have his livery. I thought I did. He is rocking the ORL esports livery, and I don't think it's going to work if I try to add it manually now. I'd have to leave the server and come back in. So let's see here. Let's see what happens if I try to add these in. I doubt it's going to work, but we could find out. So, let's see. Eric Alvarez is car number 8. But I actually have it on my file, so it's not there. Unfortunately, it's just not going to be that way tonight. So, yeah, I know. Yes, I saw that. He's Locklear's moving along pretty good. Like, all right. So winding down 2.5 minutes to go in qualification here. We have Locklear on pole. He's actually half a second up on his time now. He might break into the 204s. Let's go jump to him and give him the commentator's curse as he's rounding turn 11 onto the backstretch, catching up to Eric Alvarez there. But I do not think that's probably going to be an issue for him. He's got a pretty big, decent distance between the car in front of him there. All right, Luke. Luke as he's starting turn 15. Just barely hits those sausage curves, but these sausage curves, some of these on this game can be absolute nightmares. He's still a half a second up on his time in purple, and he is absolutely moving. $0.03, $0.02, zeroed out. That is still a fastest lap of 2:04.885. Holy crap, is that just absolutely moving? Just moving. Lopez here in his B Racing Audi. We got a yellow flag on the track. Bonus Charles is, let's see, what's he going to do? Pop a chair here and sit and relax? Pull a Nando GP2 car. So 30 seconds to go in qualification. Looks like Lopez still has one lap to go, but a lot of people are done with qualifying here. We got a few cars in the pits, but McDonald here is 6/10 up on his time. That would still 8/10 up. That would still keep him in the P3 position at the moment. So we're kind of looks like unless he can pull a rabbit out of his hat, it needs to be about 7.5 tenths up to get that P2 position. Starting here on the inside line, I guess it really depends on how what you feel you want to be here. But so Jack McDonald does not improve on his position on the track. That was his best lap, which was a 2:06.007. James Bond himself is going to be starting in the third position. So while this is going on here, we're going to go ahead and throw this bad boy into intermission while we get ready for the race itself to start. So bear with me, guys. I'll be right back. That was a perfect ending to that song. Right at the end of that song, right to this. Here we go. So let's start our grid walk here. We're going to go in the P1 position. We have a Luke Locklear. Let's back this up here. I'm in the wrong screen. All right. P2, we have Daniel Lopez in his Audi R8 Evo 2. P3, we have Paul Mariage in Porsche 911 992 GT3. His mini Checo car. Eric Alvarez in his Ferrari. P5, Jack McDonald in his Lindy Motorsport Porsche 992 GT3. P6 is Cooper Samuelson in his Ferrari 296. P7 is going to be Bonus Charles and his Audi 992. Phil Crowtheos going back old school, going back to his BMW where he feels comfortable in P8. Followed by Mr. Moss, Yaman, Jamaica Man, and P9 in his Aston Martin. P10 is Polka and his Mercedes AMG. Followed by Steve Sloan in Chaos Theory Racing, car number 5, our favorite Canadian, in the new McLaren. Followed by Dean Solomon, P12, in his Audi R8, another Canadian fella. And P13 is Jacob Smith in his God's Chicken Chick-fil-A Audi. And rounding out the field is P14 in the Ferrari 296, car number 69, on the track number 1 in your hearts, Adrian Vargas. So that is our starting lineup for today. We're going to go ahead and put it here. And let's go to not pit cam, heli cam here, while this is rounding it out. So 20 seconds to go. Hopefully everybody hits start so we can actually have everybody on the track. So, what are your guys' ideas? Who do you think is going to win? Actually, I hate to say this, but I think Luke's going to run away with it. But, yeah. We're going to stick with Cryo here, right in the middle of the pack, as they are going around to start this race. That way you kind of get a better view of everything that's going on. Apparently the helicopter cameraman is drunk. But now it looks like we're finally smoothing out the video a little bit for you guys. I just got really nauseous all of a sudden. I don't know why. It ain't the COVID, I promise. All right. Winding around the track. It's going to be extremely tough. It's just want to give you a heads up. The temperatures right now are 13 degrees. And as the server is going, it is 10 p.m. local time via on the race. It's 9:30 Eastern Standard Time in real life. So as they're going around the track, this would be a good time for me to run through our sponsors that we have. You heard me speak earlier, Rogue Energy. But we have Esports Furniture. It's a leading provider in high-quality esports gaming furniture and gaming peripherals for your complete room setup. A gaming enthusiast like ourselves, we understand the pain points when trying to find a perfect piece of gaming setup at quality and price. So their mission is to provide you with the comfort and confidence not only to elevate your gaming performance, but also your entire gaming experience. Esports Furniture was founded on the pure and simple goal of delivering the finest equipment at an affordable price to meet the unique need of gamers and all demographics. So you can use the Odyssey Racing League for an extra 10% off at checkout when you check them out. We use Go Setups here for the Odyssey esports team. So they are looking, if you're looking to be fast but really stable, this is the setups that are trusted by the Odyssey esports teams. So head to Go Setups, get the best setups on the market today. I'm going to throw the link in there for those who might need it. This will definitely help you guys out. And ACC Drive and ACC TV. I'm using ACC TV now. It is a wonderful bit of technology and program to be ran. It gives you all the information you need during the race. The ACC Drive, the Racer's Toolkit, trusted by Odyssey esports team. So you basically, if you're running as a team group or even just to have an engineer running with you, they can set your pit stops up for you while you drive. Definitely check them out. So it is definitely pretty cool. We do have a couple Patreon sponsors, Neil Baravutz, Joel Price, and Joe Kaiser. So you can join the Patreon team. That actually helps us get some of these servers and everything set up. So as we are rounding the corner here, let's, this is just not a good camera angle. So let's back this bad boy up. So as they're getting ready to go to turn number 20 here for the start of this race, everybody get situated, get comfortable. We got an hour of racing here, ready to go. So as they are winding down to the front stretch, everybody getting ready to pounce. The lights are getting ready to go green. So 3, 2, 1, green. And away we go. Phil gets a nice little jump here going into the start of the race. Do have a little bit of bumping up front here. But so far, let's see. Everybody looks like everybody made it through there nice and clean. We still have, it looks like Luke Locklear at the front of the pack. A little bit of bumping and rubbing between Daniel Lopez and Paul Mariage. But so far, so good. We are rolling here, guys. We're off to the races. So let's go to the TV camera here. We're going to go up. We're going to go actually up a little bit to the P3 position. So the battle for P2, 3, 4 with Paul Mariage being followed closely by Eric Alvarez and again closely by Jack McDonald. So a gaggle of cars here that you can definitely see that the Porsche can definitely get on the brakes. JT, what's up, boy? It's just not the same, brother, without you. Looks like we had some contact here in the back of the field, too, between Dean Solomon and Steve Sloan. Now they're going 3 wide down this backstretch into the final hairpin. Looks like everybody's going to get woed up just enough here so they all make it through that corner again, safe and sound, nice and clean. Good job, guys. Luke Locklear has about 8/8 of a second, 1 second lead right now currently over the cars in front, behind him, between him and Daniel Lopez. But the battle is actually going on right now is for the final podium position. Again, we're only 2 minutes into this race, but Eric Alvarez is all over Paul Mariage. Putting the pressure on him. He did this last week, too. It is getting summertime, man. A lot of people got things going on. If you're in Texas, dodging tornadoes, thoughts and prayers out to everybody involved in that. Been through that many a times in my life being in Alabama. Had my house hit by one, so seeing the footage of that's quite heartbreaking because it definitely brings back some horrid memories from my time. But yes, it looks like we did have some action in the back here. Adrian Vargas has gotten past Jacob Smith, but it does look like Jacob Smith is going into the pits itself. Car number 71 has received a 5-second penalty, which would be Jacob Smith. 2 10-second penalties. Excuse me, 2 5-second penalties, 10 seconds total, which unfortunately has stinks for him because he pitted before those penalties were actually applied. So, poor guy is kind of stuck. So, looks like MB is saying go. Lopez is currently a second and a half behind Luke Locklear. We're 1 lap into this race, and Luke's already pulled a second and a half lead on him. However, Lopez got himself a 2-second lead on the car behind him. So Lopez and Lopez is getting his way. So, but again, as I'm saying that, Eric Albridge is diving to the inside. He's going to make the pass stick. No. Paul Mariage is fighting back. As these two are... Paul's got it. Now Eric's got an attack from behind from Jack McDonald. So this battle, when you battle like this, it does make you slower, which is also allowing Phil Karatheos to creep up into this also. Oh, that was close. I don't know how I can remove these emoji things on this chat because it's covering up what Justin says. All I can see is what was the... I'm assuming that's qualify like. Pretty uneventful. It's a nice way of saying it. So we're going to go back here to this battle here, a little bit behind. Looks like Paul's able to pull out a little bit of a gap because Eric had to kind of go into defending mode, defend his position away from the battle of the car of Jack McDonald and Phil Karatheos. So realistically, the toughest positions to be in right now for those two guys is going to be Jack and Eric, because Phil has to just worry about attacking while Jack and Jack is attacking Eric, but he's also got to worry about defending. Eric's attacking Paul, but he's got to worry about defending against Jack. And meanwhile, Paul is watching this in his mirror going, please, keep battling, boys. Please. Alright, going to turn 13. Very nice. It's just so smooth on his throttle and brake inputs. It's quite impressive. Eric can definitely smell it. He's still right in the hunt there. Last week, if you missed the race last week, he was battling pretty hard for quite some time for some positions. Unfortunately for him, it didn't work out. He did box for tires in that race. It's going to be interesting to see what people do in this race, because this is another track that's not easiest on your tires. Alright, going in turn 1, is he going to try to make a move? No, he was just a little bit too far away, but was able to get onto the back side of him, of Paul Mariage, which is interesting because Joel did pop into the server just now. Unfortunately, Joel had daddy duties to take care of, pick up his mini-me, and he didn't think he was going to make it in time. So, F in the chat for Joel, but good for him for joining and jumping into the race when he's got a chance here. So it looks like Polka actually had some issues here. Let's take a replay back here. Let's go back and see if I can get it on 10 seconds. Nope. Oh, he's obviously got some massive damage. So let's see. Let's go back 30 seconds if it lets me. Oh, he just lost it. Where's he at? Turn 9. That is a ton of damage. That's a lot of damage. Emotional damage. That's for sure. He's just struggling to get around to the pits here. I'm going to go back up here to the P3 and P4. Eric is a 0.3 of a second behind him. He's not too far behind, so... Yeah, poor Polka. Poor guy. But this battle here, even I'm going to give some credit to Daniel Lopez. He's hanging up there in P2. He's only a second behind Luke Locklear. They're battling it out for the position and the lead of the race. It did look like Luke was going to run away with it. Ironically, the last lap, though, between the two, Daniel was a half a second faster than him, so Luke obviously had some sort of issue. Yeah, I think so too. Not everybody's cool, though, to get a drive-through at the start of the race. Hint, hint.
Emotional damage.
I don't know if that actually even came through or not. Thought it was kind of funny. Maybe not. Hey, leave Joel alone. You got another Bavarian Versatile driving around now. Too many Swabians. But I got to give credit where, he could have easily just, said, screw it, I'm not coming in. But as you see, Phil and Jack are fighting it out for the P5 position here. Joel being in the middle of that action there. Hey, Chris, I can't remember what series it was in, but I got pole. It was like a month or two ago. He was an LFM race, I think. But basically, it was the same thing. First time I've ever been on pole. And, yeah, I got to drive through. I thought you set the pace when you're on pole. I mean, obviously, you got to keep it under 70K. But I thought you set the pace. Boy, was I wrong. It's going to be interesting to see what Joel does, just time-wise and whatnot, considering the fact that he missed quali. I don't know how much practice he got in today, so I'm not really quite sure what he got for tires, if his temperatures or pressures are right. So this dude could literally be just, rednecking it and jumping straight in. Cletus McFarland going straight balls to the wall. You want to drive Spa next week, dude. Do it. Does look like Paul has opened up a slight gap of 1.3 seconds to Eric Alvarez, and Luke Locklear has then again pulled another healthy gap on Daniel Lopez, which is now at 2.6 seconds. The lap previous was roughly about 0.7 of a second faster for Luke over Daniel Lopez. As we're drilling down through the timetables here, it does look like most of the cars are kind of got two-car packs, going on. So I don't know if drivers are just trying to settle in to preserve some of their tires, especially with the new tire deck that goes on during the races. That it'd probably be a good. Yeah, well, not everybody can run 217s. I'm not gonna lie, I hated Valencia at first, but I actually started liking it towards about the middle of the race. It's challenging. It's a very flow type of track, and when you nail it, you feel good. Sorry, guys. I had a massive yawn. But as we say that, it looks like Eric is actually going to jump into the pits. You know what? I'm going to jump into the cockpit. I want to see what he does and how long he's actually sitting for. I know he was one of the drivers that was discussing possibly sticking back around and doing tires or not. So we're gonna stick around and see what actually is going to happen with him. So just imagine the imaginary pit crew taking all the tires off. Oh, he's doing tires. Oh, Whoa! Car number 27, drive through. Who's that? That is Polka. From bad to worse for Polka. We'll got to give him credit, though. Credit's due. At least he won't finish last. Yep, he definitely did tires. So that's interesting. So just at a... I can't see what... Let's see. Can I go to spotter guide? I don't want to do spotter guide. I'm trying to figure out... Okay, so Eric's last lap. That's obviously not right because he came into the pit, so it was 2:11. Fastest lap. That can't be right. No way that's his fastest lap of the race. I'm going to jump with Jacob and then we'll go back. Wow. Okay, well, never mind. Yeah, he's doing tires. I did tires about the same time yesterday. I think Chris was behind me roughly when I came in for the pits, but I think I had about 15 seconds worth of damage roughly, plus 10 seconds worth of penalties. So yeah, might as well get it done and out of the way. Well, I mean, for Eric, if let's use Eric for an example, just because that's who we're on right now. Eric was stuck behind Paul. And now he's going to have fresh air in front of him, clean drive in front of him, new tires now. So now he doesn't have to worry about, graining his tires, pushing them too hard for a lap or two. Just let him kind of get up to temperature correctly. So, South Florida Dan. Yeah, he's absolutely moving. Absolutely moving. So he stretched that gap out to 3 seconds, and Lopez himself here in P2 has got a 6.6 second lead on Paul Mariage in P3, who has a 4-second lead on Jack McDonald in P4, and then Phil Cryotheos. So our closest battle, we're going to actually jump onto this battle here because this battle is actually our closest battle on the track. That is going to be between Bonus Charles and Cooper Samuelson. Now it is 0.4 of a second difference. So, well, I'm sorry, Diane. I'm just going off of the fact that I grew up in South Florida, and that's what a lot of people would say SFL. So, acronyms. Yeah, Justin's not here. Who else is missing? We got, gosh darn it, I can't think of his name now. He drives the BMW, and I can't think of his name. I mean, even Derek Anderson. Look at, he's in there in the chat room. We got contact. Contact. Cooper Samuelson's around. Bonus Charles keeps going. Samuelson is stuck backwards around the track. Let's loop it around. We're going to go back 10 seconds to take a quick peek at this. It just looked like Bonus was diving in to go to the turn. I don't know if he didn't realize Cooper was there or not, but bad thing for Cooper there. That's just not fun. So our closest battle of the race has turned into contact. Clayton Filsinger, there we go. Thanks, Justin. Let's go to Phil here. He's got a 1.5 second lead on Moss. Car number 14 just got a 5-second penalty. That is Cooper Samuelson himself. So the stewards must have deemed that as a dive bomb. So unfortunately, it looks like Cooper is going to get a 5-second penalty, which he will have to serve when he does his pit stops. So far, we have 2 drivers that have done their pit stops. That'd be Jacob Smith and Eric Alvarez. So. Yeah, I mean, I guess I probably could have went back to see exactly what happened. We kind of missed it at the beginning, but yeah, Joe Kaiser. We got quite a few drivers that are taking a break this season. it does wear on you. Racing too much, getting frustrated sometimes, and do need to take a break sometimes. So, yeah, Justin, something's going on with my brain lately too. I've been struggling a lot with. I'd put a sentence together, but I can't think of words halfway through the sentence, so I end up pausing a lot. So I don't know what's going on. I've tried talking to my doctor about it, and they say nothing's wrong. So I think I'm just stupid, which is a very good possibility. But currently, our running order right now is going to be Luke Locklear, followed by Daniel Lopez, Mariage, Jack McDonald, Phil Krauthios, Moss, Charles, Dean Solomon, Sloan, and rounding out your top 10 is Cooper Samuelson. And they all have a pretty healthy gap. The top 10 to Adrian Vargas is 33 seconds, so there's a pretty healthy gap there. I don't want to have an Adrian being that far back. And when I discussed earlier about him changing his tires and being in clean air, there you go, 2:07.6. I mean, unfortunately, it's still 0.9 of a second down on the leader's fast lap time. But I don't watch CNN. I don't watch any news. I do see that. I do see that. Derek, he is still fighting about 3 seconds behind him, but he's keeping within an earshot. Their lap times are kind of pretty close in being similar. Luke Locklear's fastest lap, which is obviously the purple lap of the race, is basically about 0.5 of a second faster. However, they seem to be swapping times about every other lap. So Derek will run, 2 tenths, 3 tenths faster one lap, and then vice versa. So it is interesting that both of them are able to keep quite close to each other, or not both of them. Daniel's able to keep within an earshot, so literally a hit of the sausage curb or a little bit too late on the brakes could easily spell. Excuse me, guys. I'm a little nauseous, so I thought I was going to have a problem. Being able to keep it close enough to him like that, so any type of mistake on Luke Locklear's part would cause a massive problem. The new Ferrari is not bad looking, except the back of it. It looks like Wall-E's inbred child, and then that stupid snorkel-looking thing on the top. That should be on the Titan submarine. But other than that, it is a good-looking car. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe the 296 is actually not in the game itself because SRO rules, but I believe the 296 in real life is a hybrid vehicle. Someone might need to, let me know if I'm wrong on that or not, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. I think the Ferrari 296 is a turbo hybrid. I'll pull up Google real quick. Let's see here. It is a 2.9 liter twin turbocharged V6 with 2 MGU-K dual rotors. So the engine output is 654 horsepower and roughly 165 with the hybrid system. So combined total of basically 820 horsepower now. Obviously, with SRO, you don't get those goodies, and you're about 550-ish horsepower. So we got another yellow flag for Polka. I don't know what happened to him, but he's getting blue flagged. Let's see. Let's go back 30 seconds and see what's going on here. I think he might be retiring from the race, or is he just pulling off and allowing the faster cars that are not blue flagged to go through. So, yep, that was actually brought to you by Wikipedia. Not one of our sponsors, but I knew it was a twin turbo, but I just thought I thought in real life it was an actual turbo hybrid, which it is. So there you go. And as I said earlier, between Locklear and Lopez, the swapping of times, Lopez again is about 1.8 or 0.18 of a second faster last lap than Locklear. So again, 3.5 seconds roughly. So. Yeah, I think I think he might be calling it a day. It's unfortunate. I feel bad for him. I'm just happy to have our internet and power back. To take my computer back, to take my desktop home or from home to work and set it up there so I could do the commentary. And as I say, that Polka has got a drive-through penalty, so not only did he, yeah, so he's not calling it quits. Good. Oh, poor Polka. Poor Polka. So, as our running order still remains pretty much unchanged, Locklear, Lopez, Mariage, McDonald, Cryo, and Moss, Charles Solomon, Steve Sloan, and Samuelson wrapping up our top 10. Alvarez is still chugging along down there, and P12 has and was able to get past Adrian Vargas, who's yet to pit. As we're getting pretty close to about halfway through this race. These lap times don't make sense, though. Okay, so never mind. They do make sense. Locklear and Lopez were swapped about 0.6 of a second, Locklear being faster last lap. So the battle of the brutes up front. We're going to jump down to the Phil Krathios and Moss here, battling it out for position as they're going around a lap car of Joel in his ORL purple eSports BMW. Getting out of the way of the battle between Moss and Cryo. And as I say that, I'm actually going to jump down here to Dean Solomon and Steve Sloan as they are battling for the 8th position. Steve Sloan is within 0.5 second of Solomon, so we have a McLaren versus Audi battle here. God, I love that blue and orange. Go Gators. What's up, Forza? What's up, Abdul? Am I the next contestant on The Price is Right? Or did you put some money on black for me and I won? Give me some good news, brother. As we're going into turn 11, he is right on the backside of him. We got two battles going on right now that are extremely close. We got Phil Krathios, Moss battling it out there, 0.3 of a second. It looks like Moss at any moment is going to pounce and make a move on Cryo here. We're going to jump into a different camera. Hey, you bleed orange and blue, you bleed orange and blue. Go Gators. National championship for the World Series, College World Series baseball this weekend, between either LSU and Florida or Florida and Wake Forest, which is ironic because I live in Wake Forest, but the university is no longer here. Let's see here. I'm gonna jump on ESPN real quick to see what the score is of that baseball game, just out of curiosity, because yeah, I want to see where that is. So let's go. Oh, Jesus, the Yankees are getting smoked. So, oh wow, 0-0, top of the 11th. Interesting. Keep going, boys. Keep going. As they're going into turn 1, they are side by side. We have Moss and Cryo battling it out for position as Joel's just kind of hanging in the back there. Joel's got a freaking wonderful view. So let's go to cockpit for Joel and watch this battle take place in front of him. Joel's not in battle here. He's just kind of hanging out because he came to the race later. But we're gonna see here. So Cryo made a mistake, huh? Which is not very Cryo-like. I do kind of miss driving that BMW. Boy, this battle is pretty intense up here. 0.2 of a second separating those two drivers. Oh, here we go. Is he going to be able to get a run? So they're going through turn 18 now, another fast corner, braking hard into turn 19. You don't want to scrub off too much speed here. And then finally, as they say this, we are robbed of the battle because Cryo's like, you know what, I'm going to dive in and go to the pits. Thanks, Cryo. The excitement that we had building up is gone. I'm going to let him know after the race. I will say the rain light on the Audi is kind of cool, or it's tucked into that duct there. So that is kind of cool compared to like the Porsche, how it's running the lines across the top. I just could never get that Audi, driving that Audi. I just couldn't do it. The setup was just, I could never get the setup right. And then I got used to the 991. And then going to the 992 was like driving the Cup car, which is basically the same thing with less aero. And no traction control. It was just awful. So Phil Cryotheos did his pit stop. Let's see, that will put him in the 10th position behind Cooper Samuelson, who is 22 seconds ahead of him. What am I missing out on? Am I behind something here? What's going on? Paul Marriage and Jack McDonald are within a second of each other also here, so I'm going to jump up to these guys here. So Marriage did a good job of battling Eric Alvarez early in the race. Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, yeah. Let's see here. But yes, Marriage was holding off Vargas for quite a bit this race, but as I say that, we lose out on another battle. Wait. What in the hell was that? Was he diving into the pits and then jumped out back onto the track? Now he's got to drive through because he exceeded his that was his 4th track limit. Oh, he didn't make the turn. He didn't slow down enough. Oh my God, that is awful. Yeah, that's a big F in the chat for him. Big F, because that hurts. That hurts big time. I mean, he did a masterful job of defending against Alvarez early in the race to only have that mistake happen as he's coming into the pits. That was also his 4th track limit. Oh, that is awful. And the brake marker, or the pit lane speed marker, is right there at the beginning, so you don't really get much of a chance to woe down before you go into the pits. Well, let's see. Jack's all over Paul, but if I were Jack, I would kind of relax a little bit because, well, now you know he's got a drive-through, so he's going to have to serve that, and he wants to pit, so no sense of taking yourself out in the process, right? All right, I'll keep an eye out on him. What's up, Johnny? ¿Cómo está? ¿Qué dove? Su casa? Okay, so he's diving in the pits now, but this is not going to be his pit stop. It is going to be his drive-through penalty. So Paul is actually in the pits. We're going to jump to Moss here real quick because Johnny told us to go take a peek at that. So I gotta figure out, say it better now because I am going back to Italy this summer, and my wife's cousin's married to a Johnny. Tutto bene? Good. Bravo. Where you been, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Not even in the Discord. You going on a hiatus? Oh, where'd you go? Did you go on vacation? So as we watch Moss going through the S's, so he just went through turn 6 and now is going through turn 7. He's probably going to be pitting here soon. So like Johnny said, we're going to take a peek and watch him for a few seconds here. Because realistically, the closest battle on the track right now is between Sloan Mariage and Phil Cryatheos. Unfortunately, Mariage is still going to have to come in and pit, so it's not going to really help him much. Alvarez has moved his way up to P10. He was able to get past Cooper Samuelson, who decided to pit that last lap. What is Moss's first name? And LSU just wins the baseball game, by the way, for those who are watching. So LSU... Wait, is it... Oh, yes. That is a walk-off home run for the LSU Tigers to go to the College World Series final all-SEC matchup between the Corn Dogs and my Florida Gators. Chris, I would be... I'd laugh. Well, that sucks to be Wake Forest. Overall number 1 seed. Overall number 1 seed of our team of the nation. And they don't make it to the championship. Sucks to be them. And it's literally the only sport that University of Florida is good at right now. That's a major sport. So Moss is yet to pit. We're going to go up to Mariage and Solomon, excuse me, even though it really doesn't matter because Mariage has yet to pit. I kind of feel bad for him. I really do. That was a massive double mistake that he did. The one thing I wish I could see is I wish that we could see how many warnings, like when you switch from car to car, how many warnings are actually the drivers have, so you can kind of keep an eye out for them. So it does look like Mariage has ducked back into the pits to do his required pit stop. For those who don't know that are new to Odyssey Racing League, we have a 1 pit stop mandatory that is a 1 liter of fuel only. So you can just get 1 liter of fuel. You can do whatever you want. You just got to put 1 liter of fuel in. So, and you have to do that before the end of the race. Chris Rice has been the master of it so far this season, pitting extremely late. I even made the comment last night during the race because I thought he didn't pit. I, for some reason, thought the pit window closed out 2 minutes ago, and he did pit and did not DQ himself from the race. Chris, are you from Texas? Hey, Fort. Hey, Abdul. Are you going to cry when Max Verstappen beats Lewis Hamilton and breaks his record in another 6 years? Just asking. All right, Moss, when you gonna come in the pits, buddy? He's not coming in the pits yet. But looking at these times, Delta times compared to their last lap, we only got one driver that's actually in the green right now. Well, two, I guess, technically. But that's McDonald and Samuelson. Everybody else is in the reds on their Delta. By the lowest is 1/10 of a second, but about a half second to 1 to 2, 3 seconds is the gaps that we're seeing here. So obviously the tires are falling off. The guys are not able to keep their pace that they wanted to. We're down to 14 drivers. So Chris Rice was 100% correct because Joel has overtaken Polka technically for position. So let's take a peek at Adrian Vargas, see what happened to him. This happened to me yesterday too. There's a bump right there. You saw him hit it. Unsettled the car. But that isn't what set him off the track. So let's see what happens. Hey, Polka's back. So, he's going through the S's. That is a massive collision. So he just coming in hot, as you would say. He's still, buddy, it'd probably be best just to teleport to the pits at this point. Alright, let's take a peek at Moz here. Following Johnny's idea. I think that, he's going to pit here soon, but it's going to be an interesting one because let's see, what's the distance between him and Phil? Phil's 20 seconds behind Dean, so 24. And about 45 seconds difference, so depending on what Moss is going to do in the pits, it's going to be close. With 20 minutes to go in the race, or 19 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the race, I don't know if he's going to take tires or not. If he went this far, and he's not running that much slower times. His last lap was an 07.665. His fastest for the race was an 07.397. Then Phil ran a last lap of a 208.12. So Phil is definitely going to need to get up on that horsey and get moving if he wants to try to overtake him while he goes in the pits. Luke's just barely stretching out that lead a little bit further on Daniel Lopez, but it's still there. So let's just take a quick peek through our lineup here right now. We got Luke Locklear in P1. Lopez here in P2, about 5 seconds behind. Another 12 seconds to Jack McDonald. Moss in P4. Bonus Charles, a hell of a race for him in P5. He's up 2 spots. Our biggest mover so far today is Dean Solomon in P6, who's started in P12. So good for him. Then we got Dean Solomon in P6. Cryatheos, our mad lad from down under, the Thunder from down under, Phil Cryatheos, Eric Alvarez in P8, Paul Mariage in P9, and Steve Sloan rounding out your top 10. Alright, so Moss is in turn 16, so we're going to find out here pretty quick if he's going to actually box here soon. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 cars that have yet to pit. Everybody else has pitted in this race. I wonder what happened to Polka. I wonder if he was having computer issues or something and he backed out of the race and came back in. I will give him credit where credit's due, though. Dude could have just said, enough's enough and said, I'm out. But he wants to get his seat time in. Let's take a peek on the inside of this car. I want to see what it sounds like. Just angry Jeremy Clarkson screams. pretty good job going there through the S's, going to turn 8 and 9 here in a second, but nice and smooth. Good job. I've done a few of those, Johnny, where you house it for somebody, and it's such a weird feeling because they're like, "Oh, make yourself at home." Yeah, I don't really think you want to see me, if you got cameras walking around naked. So with just under 16 minutes to go in the race, we're about 3/4 of the way through. Nothing's changed up top. Locklear, Lopez, McDonald, your podium so far here. Derek, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm wondering if he. I know he pitted for tires last week, but I'm wondering if he's going to decide not to do tires again. Or he may. I mean, the reason why I did it yesterday was because I had damage and I had a couple incidents where I got hit from behind and spun out, so I kind of trashed my tires. And it was a massive difference once I got the tire change, being able to run consistent times again. So I don't think you really got to the point of his tires being to the point where he definitely saw the net benefit from coming to doing tires. But I think that was probably a strategy anyways, because he probably went light on fuel like he did last week. So his thought was most likely of, hey, let me box now, or just move up my strategy, try to undercut them, get clean air, and run consistent times. I'm thinking that might have been his idea. So yeah, you can. Some people like me are not good on tires, apparently. So like my Tuesday race was at Silverstone. I did not change tires for that, and I was under, I think, 1.8 all the way across the rear tires. I was all the way up to, I think, TC7, and TC cut was at 3 or 4 by the end of the race. It was definitely on the struggle bus, but you can do it. It gets to the point like right now you're at 13 minutes, 13 and a half minutes to go in the race. There's no sense of changing tires at this point. If you're going to do it early enough to where you can take the benefit of getting the new tires. But I mean, Moss is 22 seconds ahead of Bonus and another 5 seconds to Dean. So if he were to box for tires, he would be roughly at P6. And it just ain't worth it. Now, for him, the two guys behind him still have to box also, so. Let's go to TV2. We're going to go back here to Steve and Cooper battling it out for the final top 10 position of the race. Technically, actually, this is for P1 in their class, so this is a battle for the podium position in their class. And again, both these drivers have pitted for done their pit stop. So, ironically, P10, 11, 12, and 13 are all in the silver division, and yeah. You got these two battling out for the podium here, or the win in their group is definitely a battle that's going to keep them on going. Sorry, I'm in my chair and I got an itch on my foot, and it's kind of hard to reach. Oh, that feels good. Oh. Worst things in the world is when you're actually ticklish, and then you try to itch your foot, which you're ticklish. So you're trying to itch but not laugh at the same time. I'm in the same boat, Derek. I don't think any of these guys that are running now are going to take tires. It's too late to take tires at this point. You only got 11 minutes to go in the race. But if you didn't notice that just a second ago, when Sloan took turn 8, he left some black marks, so he is sliding around on the track as we speak. So we do have Moss is coming into the pits. Luke's into the pits. Luke did a splash and dash. He's already out and happily on his way. We're going to sit here and watch Moss just real quick. Good evening, Ghostly. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a little on the longer side of the pit stop there. Bonus is in the pits. So the only two drivers that, or I guess technically, yeah, the only two drivers that have not pitted yet is, or three, excuse me, Solomon, Lopez, and McDonald. Moss is back out on the pits. He loses out positions to both Frio Theos and Eric Alvarez. Look at that. Alvarez was in 13th, by the way, with about 45 minutes to go in the race. So he's back up there in P6. 2 positions behind where he started, I believe. So there is that. This is going to be interesting. We got a battle here for Samuelson's on the inside going down the back stretch. This is for the lead in the silver division. Going into turn 1, he has completed the pass, well, almost. Getting a little sideways there, Steve. Steve Sloan in the battle for the lead in the silver division. This is heating up, boys and girls. It doesn't look like Steve's car is handling the best. You can see him wiggling around, definitely battling some demons there with the tires probably degrading to the point. As I'm saying that, both Old McDonald and Daniel Lopez have ducked into the pits. Let's see where they end up coming out on the track here. I mean, these two are... One's coming and one's going. So Solomon's... Who is that? We're on Jack now, so... That was Lopez. And there's Luke. Luke is back into the lead. Yeah, I'm kind of confused on what actually happened with Moss there. Worked out for Cryo. Oh, Gord. The only person that has yet to pit is Dean Solomon, by the way. So, if we're going to do the math here, Solomon's only 9 seconds ahead of Cryotheos, so he's going to be probably bumped down to, you're looking at 40 seconds, so got 9, or 10, 11, 14. That's going to bump him down to probably about P8, P9 position. Yeah, Luke's... Both him and Lopez were pretty... well... Pit time for Locklear was 39.6 seconds, and pit time for Lopez was 38.8. So, I mean... 0.8 of a second difference. Not too terribly much, but it's there. So winding down on this race, 7 minutes to go in the race. We got Locklear followed by Lopez, McDonald for the podium positions. That's the gold division. In the silver division, we have Samuelson leading by 1 second over Steve Sloan, which they have a lap gap on Smith there. Jacob Smith for the final podium position in the silver class. Locklear still rolling around with this 4-way hot lights on. I just realized that he's like all the people down here in North Carolina that come from up north that can't drive in the rain, so the first time they see a raindrop on their windshield, they hit their 4-ways. It's so gosh darn annoying. If you're that scared driving in the rain, then go. We're going to go to this battle here for the P5 position. In reality, this is going to be for P4. with Solomon having the pit. So we got a nice hefty battle with Cryo, Alvarez, and Moss going at it here. I'm interested to see how Alvarez's tires are feeling here. I mean, granted, they are going to be 15 minutes newer than everybody else's, and the heat cycling from stopping for the pits and then coming back out for the pits is not there. So we'll see how he's able to hold on to this, if he's able to make and complete a pass on Cryotheos, or if he's going to be stuck here behind him. It seems like the last 2 races he unfortunately has been getting stuck behind a few drivers. He just can't seem to get around them. Ooh, Cryo a little heavy on the brakes there, which was allowed Eric to bump up next to him. He's 0.3 of a second behind him going through turn 6. Oh, goodness. We get this sharp left-hander coming up here. It's not a passing zone. None of this is a passing zone, but heading up to here through turn 9 and then 10, he's not going to be close enough. I mean, 0.4 of a second to get a pass here, but realistically, get the toe. I personally would rather try to make the pass at the end of this long straight than there, because then you're not giving that other driver a toe. 0.4 of a second difference between the two drivers here as they are heading down the back stretch onto turn number 12. That BMW still got some power, though, because he was in the toe the whole time. Oh, they both go a little deep into the corner. It looks like Cryo was probably braking with his mirrors to try to cover up a position. Cryo, you can see a little bit of opposite lock in his steering there. Going through turn 14, Alvarez is all over the back of him, 0.3 of a second. As this battle is heating up, Moss is pulling up, creeping up behind him here. So the longer this continues to go, the better for Moss it is, and the worse it is for both Cryo and Alvarez. So one of them's got to have to either figure out what they want to do. But as I stated that, Cryo has pulled out a half-second gap. Cryo with the unforced error, which is unique on his part. He doesn't tend to have too many of those. Car number 70. Drive-through for track limits. Ouch. Poor Joel. Doesn't matter. He's 2 laps up on Polka, so... Just for reference, Cryo ran a 209.120 for his last lap, and the last lap for Eric Alvarez was a 208.725. He's there. He has to find himself a position and a spot to actually get a pass completed. Me too, Derek. Me too. Especially with how tricky this is going through the S's. So Solomon had a white flag for being slow for some reason, so I'm not quite sure exactly what happened. But yeah, we're gonna go back up here. Lopez has a white flag for going slow. I'm not really quite sure why, but we're just gonna stick on this battle here between Cryo and Eric Alvarez as we're winding down to 2.5 minutes to go in this race. Yeah, Moss ran a 208.2. Yep, you're right. Are you using PitLink, Derek? This is the second lap in a row that I saw a little bit of opposite lock from Cryo. So, oh my God, they're side by side. They're going to tap. They both make contact. They both are sideways. Alvarez looks like he probably got the worst of that deal. Alvarez is down a position. Moss takes a position. That is Alvarez to P6, Moss to P5. Cryo stays in P4. Let's go back. Let's see if we can actually see this. Nope, we're too late. Dang it. So I'm going to have to go back 30 seconds to get this on there. Yep, I figured you're using pit wall if you get those exact times here. So let me go back 30 seconds to see exactly how this happened. So we got a little bit of opposite lock again from Cryotheos. And as he did that, hey, there's interesting delivery decided to populate. Well, that's unique. But anywho, yeah, Cryotheos didn't get the worst of that one. Alvarez did, unfortunately. Why does it... And then now it's back to the carbon. That is so weird. I don't know. Whatever. But as this race is winding down with under a minute to go in the race, where's Luke at on the track here? He is going through turn 13. This might actually be the last lap of the race. I'm not quite sure how this is timing is gonna work out. So we're gonna stick back here with Moss and Alvarez here. I know Alvarez knows that clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. He's gonna have to, if he wants that position, he's gonna have to make a move on this back stretch. He is 0.3 of a second behind that Aston Martin of Moss. Is he gonna try to make a late dive, try to outbrake him possibly? We are going to see here in a matter of seconds. They're into the braking zone now. Does not look like Alvarez is going to, but he did try to take a wider line coming into the corner to shut. Oh, we got two cars drive-throughs. Car number 5 and car number 27. Car number 5 is... That is Steve Sloan, and 27 is Polka, which unfortunately I hate to say is Polka. Don't shoot the messenger, but yeah, you're dead last. It doesn't matter. Yes. Now Cryo's looking in his mirrors going, thank God these guys are battling out. So we got 3 drive-thrus on the track still. Joel Price, Steve Sloan, and Polka. And Alvarez got a 5-second penalty for going too fast, or for that collision. So he not only needs to make the pass, but he needs to make it and run. And unfortunately, with it being the last lap of the race, ain't no way in hell that's happening. But as I said this, the last lap for Luke Locklear was 2 minutes and 11 seconds. That has brought Daniel Lopez right up close enough, close enough that you can smell his burps. Let's just put it that way. So heading down the long back stretch for the final time of the race, we have Luke Locklear, followed by Daniel Lopez and Old McDonald in P3. Hey, I will say this, though, Derek. I think that 5 seconds was more than lenient enough for Eric. I know he was getting impatient. He had to make the move, but that was pretty lenient. It could have been worse. Part of that, I think, was due to the fact that he actually got the worst end of that deal, and that's probably the reasoning why for that. And Eric's not a dirty driver, so it's not like this is something that's a common occurrence to him. So we're heading through the final turn of the final lap, the penultimate lap. We have the winner of the race, Luke Locklear, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner is Luke Locklear, followed by Daniel Lopez. And Jack McDonald's rounding the final turn now as we speak to finish on the podium. And P3, Eric Alvarez has made the pass on both. No, he hasn't. Why is it showing up that he's in P4? And Cryo's in P5. Okay, where are we at? Turn 19. He has made the pass. I'm perplexed. And Moss, I didn't see what happened here at the end because we were following the big leaders on the final lap. Car number 13 has been disqualified for going the wrong way. I don't know how that's going to work considering the fact that he already won the race. Okay, we got a lot of weird things going on here. Luke Locklear's DQ'd for supposedly driving the wrong way. Eric Alvarez gets into P4. Cryo P5, Paul Mariage P6. So I'm going to actually try getting Alvarez, Luke, and I don't know what happened. So I'm confused. So let's go ahead. I'm going to save the replay first. You know what? Let's just go to the final lap here. And let's go to Alvarez. Let's see what actually happened here. Nope, we're way too far ahead. Let's change the camera. So, running order is normal. We got Phil up there leading these three guys here. Moss, and so we're going to the final corner. This is turn 20. No, I don't want... Dang it, you turd. Alright, so we see Moss is getting weaving, getting behind Phil Cryotheos. Why are you not... Oh, you turd. Let's go back to Phil. Or let's go to Moss here. Alright. Sorry, guys. Oh, Moss actually hits him going... Well, I don't know what corner this is. Good for Moss, though. Redresses the position, lets Phil get past him. So that is actually the end of your race. Yeah, let's try to get some people in here to the commentator's booth, and we'll go that route. Oh, it looks like he actually had contact again by Paul Mariage. They both spent, and yeah, that's just bad. All right. Sorry, guys. Let's pause this, and let's go try to get some interviews in here. And yeah, let's go that route. So let's go to Luke Locklear. Luke!
Yo, what's up?
Did you actually get the win?
Yeah, I passed the line of fifth story.
Okay, well, I saw the DQ.
It happened after the finish line. I was just sitting around, and then I drove back a little bit, like back the other way to like flash people as they go by, but it just put me DQ'd, but it was after the win.
Okay. Well, congratulations, I guess.
Should be fine.
Well, we'll find...
the line phase, so.
Yeah, we'll find out. Yeah, definitely. We're going to find out. So, how was the race, other than being lonely?
Well, I mean, Lopez was always there. He was always right there. I was trying to figure out his strategy.
I think you guys were on the same one.
Yeah, I think I just didn't think. I thought he would have went back with his old strategy. So I actually did a different strategy. I'm not going to say what it was, but I did a little bit of a variation on strategy, and it didn't do anything really. I think that not taking tires and just going with what you can is just the best bet at this point.
It depends on the track.
I was just trying to. I mean, Suzuka is one of those tracks that maybe could, you could definitely probably get away with something.
It
But
worked.
at the same time, like, I was just time managing the whole race because I just wanted to keep Lopez at like a 5-second gap, and I was just happy to just tire save for the rest of the race.
All right. Well, again, congratulations. It was you had, it looked like the second to last lap, or last lap you had a bit of a...
No, I tried to finish the race. Like, I slowed down. I had like 5 seconds to the line, but Lopez would have, passed me to first if I tried to finish the lap. I tried to finish
Oh, I
the
see.
lap.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so you saw the timer ran out. Okay. Yeah, because it was weird. Like, man, you ran at 2:11. We actually might have something happen here. Again, congratulations on the win. Hopefully you can continue next week at Spa, and we can go from there.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. You take care.
You're welcome. I'm going to drag you over. Bring Eric in here. Hey, Eric.
How's it going?
So, did you pray to Moses and have him part the Red Sea in front of you?
Well, I mean, I'm honestly a little bit confused by the finishing results because Luke had this.
He said he did it. He said he did that after the race, so the win's still there. I don't know.
Okay. Well, then I should have P4, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys were live when your befuddlement happened with Cryo?
I've already apologized to him, and there's just crunch time trying to make something stick on old tires that wasn't gonna, and I'm glad I didn't absolutely wreck him, but then
you got the worst out of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I got it right back after.
Well,
Moss's incident with him as well. Cryo was kind of a pincushion on that last lap, sadly.
Yeah, because basically the lap prior to that contact, and even right up to that contact, that turn before it happened, you could see Cryo had some opposite lock. So he was struggling with his tires, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. So was I, but I think my tires were about 15 minutes newer because I had accidentally made the mistake of taking tires once again, so I was kind of battling back, but it did give me a leg up there in the end to keep the pace on them, even when I had received my 5 second to, I think it was Mariage that was coming in close until he had an incident.
But what I told you yesterday, I boxed with like 15 minutes in the race. I told you I spun out twice because I got hit. My tires were trashed because I didn't pit that early on purpose and change tires on purpose, bud.
Yeah.
Good God, I thought you probably were you obviously battling Paul that you wanted to get clean air.
I did. Yeah, I did, and in doing so, I forgot that I had yet to adjust my pit strategy to uncheck tires, and just went in the box, saw 30 seconds, and I was like, all right, well, here we go, time to charge. And I was on 3 track limits warnings pretty much the whole race up until the end, and was just trying to make something happen. So getting back into the top 5 at least was my goal after the strategy blunder, but was able to make it happen.
All right, man. Well, good race, man. See you next week.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one.
You too. Hey, Cryo. I don't know if he's here or not.
I'm here.
Boy, that was not the ending you wanted to see. How bad were your tires there at the end? Because you seemed like you were sliding all over the place.
Yeah, they were shredded. Absolutely for the bin.
Okay. Yeah, the lap before the contact, I saw almost in the same turn, you had a pretty decent amount of opposite lock. And I actually brought it up in the stream. Like, I know Eric saw it. It's like, this is going to be an interesting one. But yeah.
Eric accidentally took tires as well, so he had pace. So defending against him, I knew wasn't going to last forever.
Not much newer. I mean, they're 15 minutes newer, but yeah. I mean, he said yesterday after our race, he's like, "Did you take tires?" I said, "Yeah," but I got hit from behind twice and spun, so my tires were trash at 15 minutes. Not, I didn't want to take tires at 15 minutes into the race, but it was a better idea for me to take tires. But again, you ended up finishing 5th, right?
I know 4th was on the cards, but because of that contact with Moss, I think 5th in the end.
Because it stinks. I missed all that, by the way. I went to the leaders to finish the race. Oh, I went back and watched it, and everybody else did too on replay. But I was like, wait a second, how the hell did that happen? But
there was contact between me and Eric to start with.
Yes.
That lost me a little bit of rear downforce, which is probably why I was even slower with my shot tyres. And then Moss on the last lap, I think it was, or the second to last lap, kind of sent it on me, hit the rear on exit just before that long sweeping right-hander. And that's all she wrote. Just sent me around.
Well,
but he did give me the position back.
Yep, he did redress. He did redress, and then he got absolutely destroyed by Mariage. So that last lap of the race was a clown show, to say the least. Everybody's trying to get what little positions they can, and then I don't know if you saw Luke got DQ'd.
I did. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that pans out.
I mean, it was after the race.
People were still racing. Well, no, people were still racing, right? So I don't know.
I don't either.
If it happened in real life, it would probably stand.
Oh yeah. So I'm confused too. So I have no idea how it's going. So again, I mean, all things considered, it's still, even though the end of the race was kind of crap for you, it was still a pretty decent race. So
yeah, first time back in the Beamer since ages. So, yeah,
I know you hated that Ferrari.
Yeah, I'm putting on old shoes. So.
Alrighty, man. Again,
cool.
It's lunchtime for him down there, and go take care of that baby.
Yeah.
All right, have a good one. And that'll be it for us tonight, guys. Thanks for joining us. Again, feel free to take a peek at us next week. We are going to be running in Spa in Belgium. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun race. Same time and place next week. Don't forget the EU race this Sunday and the Division 2 race on Tuesday night. So that'll be it from me, and that'll be it for the rest of us tonight. Have a great one. Take care now.
Tell